Welcome to the Patagonia Boys, and today we're counting down our top picks for 5 hiking trails in southwest London. These trails are all dog walker approved and let you get lost in nature, even in the middle of a big city.
On today's episode of Children of the Forest, we're going to be discussing the mighty aspen tree. You can tell that it's an aspen because of the way that it is.
We'll be rating these trails on 6 very official and definitely scientific categories: parking, accessibility, busyness, nature, intrigue, and length, so you know which ones to check out next time you're feeling outdoorsy. So let's lace up our hiking boots and let's hit these trails. Starting off in number 1 is Komoka Provincial Park. Located at 503 Gideon Drive, London, Ontario, Komoka Provincial Park has over 10 trails to pick from, but remember, no horses and no biking. The parking here is amazing. There's tons of spots, and though it's made of gravel, it's a fairly nice parking lot. It does end up losing some points, however, because you do have to pay for parking here. It is $6.50 for 2 hours, $8.50 for 4, and $18 for the whole day. The accessibility here is fairly good. A lot of the trails are nice and flat, super wide, made of gravel, definitely an easy walk. However, some of the trails here get pretty steep and a little sketchy, so if you're not spry, definitely avoid those. The trails here were definitely fun though. There was lots of elevation gain, a few tough hikes in here, but a lot of it is flat. So if you're into that, definitely check that out. And if you want a little more adventure, you can definitely come here too. They also have lots of bridges and wood and paths to make sure that you still have your creature comforts, but at times it could be strenuous, so we came out at a 3 out of 5 for accessibility. Busyness came in at a 2.5 because we did see a lot of people here, and Komoka Provincial Park is usually pretty crowded. I think we passed over 15 people while we were here, and the parking lot started getting packed as we were leaving. The nature aspect of this park is absolutely phenomenal. There's lots of vistas, deep valleys, cliffs, hills, constant changes in nature. There was plains, there was fields, tons and tons of forest, and you can hear absolutely zero road noise, city noise, nothing. You really kind of do feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. This park ended up coming in at a 4 out of 5 for nature. It really does feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, so if you're looking to get away from the city and feel serene, definitely check out Komoka. The intrigue factor is something I do really want to talk about for Komoka. It came in at a whopping 4.2, which I believe is literally the highest on this list so far. It is just gorgeous. I mean, the views here are insane. You can see the Thames way, way down below you. You're on the edge of a cliff, and there's just so much different scenery to see. You're constantly getting hits of dopamine, constantly getting new views, new sights, new surroundings. So if you're looking to mix things up a little bit, definitely check out Komoka. And you can ride your horse through it and your bike on certain parts. So if you're looking for somewhere to mountain bike or take your horse for a ride, check out Komoka. The length rating comes in at a staggering 4 out of 5. There is over 10 kilometers worth of trails to see at Komoka, so if you're looking for a long day out in the woods, definitely check it out. And our final score for Komoka is 21.2 out of 25. That puts Komoka in first place. Our second stop for the day is Warbler Woods, located at 1968 Commissioners Road West in London, Ontario. The parking here came in at 4.5. It has so many parking spots, and the parking lot is pretty well kept. Super easy to get to the trail from your car. Next up in our ratings for Warbler is accessibility. This place came in at an absolutely abysmal 2.5 out of 5. Now that's 50%, so that's a pass here in Canada, but in some other countries that would be a fail. The reason it came in so low is because there is so much elevation. It's just ridiculous to walk, and a lot of the trails were muddy, but there is nothing comfortable about walking here. You really are going to be gassed after walking it. Busyness came out at a 3 out of 5. There's a lot of people in the parking lot, and not only are you going to see people that park here, there's a neighborhood right behind it, so you're likely to see a lot of people and feel kind of crowded. Nature is next up, and it scores a 4 because it is a giant forest. However, it loses 2 points. It's just unfortunate. You are surrounded by a neighborhood, and you can hear all kinds of road noises and city noises. However, last time I was here, I did see 6 deer. I want to give it bonus points, but it comes in at a 2 out of 5, unfortunately. Intrigue for Warbler Woods comes in at 2.5. Again, Warbler's not scoring very high. There's not much here. There's a cool, City of London thing to look at. But other than that, there's not much to see. It's really just walking in the woods. It's good for dog walking, so I'll give it that. Length comes in at a 3 out of 5. There is 7 kilometers of trail to hike here, but not a lot of options. Okay, it's still pretty good. Also, I just want to point out that there is a bridge that goes from Warbler Woods underneath Oxford Road that does actually lead to 2 more of the trails we are doing today. It leads all the way over to Kains Woods and then to CPRI. So if you're looking for a cool little shortcut, Warbler does have that going for it. It comes out at a total of 17.5 out of 25. Not the best, but not the worst. Definitely worth checking out. Our third trail for the day is Kains Woods. This spot actually has multiple entrances, however the main one is at 1509 Shore Road. The parking here comes in at a terrible 2.5. It's on the side of the road. It's not great. There's not much parking, but that's okay. We'll accept it for what it is. Let's talk about the accessibility and the terrain. It comes in at a 3. There is lots of bridges, lots of wood planks, lots of nice paths to travel on. However, getting down to them is a little bit sketchy. Thankfully though, if you are looking to get out to Kains Woods, there's a long cement path that takes you all around, and the main entrance and all the views are fairly accessible, but it does get sketchy in spots. That's why it's got kind of a mixed rating.
That wasn't a route.
Let's talk about the amount of patrons that were at Kains Woods today. We saw over 20 people, so the busyness gets the horrific score of 2.5 out of 5. It's unfortunate, but there is just a lot of people who enjoy these woods, which is a good thing. The nature in Kains Woods is absolutely phenomenal.
Ducks! Wild duckers.
There is so many different types of trees. There's a section of the woods that actually make you feel like you're in Oregon or Washington. It's crazy. There's also lots of animals. There's beavers here, as you can see. There's also ducks. There's tons of deer, I'm sure, but we came out with a score of 4. However, we did lose half a point because it is still right in a neighborhood and you don't feel like you're quite out in the middle of nowhere like you would want to. You can also hear a bit of road noise, but it's not terrible. Intrigue for Kains Woods comes in at a nice high score of 4 out of 5. There is some pretty cool cliffs here, lots of different scenery changes. There's the river. There's some good fishing there too. So just, lots of activities and lots to see. And finally, we come to length for Kains Woods. It scored a 3 out of 5. It has just over 7 kilometers worth of trail. It is one big loop, so that's pretty nice. And the final score for Kains Woods comes in at 18.5 out of 25, putting it in second place.
This is no exit, no exit, no exit.
Our fourth hike of the day is the CPRI trail located at 600 Sanatorium Road, and this is going to be a lightning round. So for parking, we got a 2.5. It's absolutely atrocious. It's just the side of the road, and there's not much of it. The accessibility. The accessibility is, I want to say 10 times worse than the parking. It's got to be the worst thing about this trail. I don't know if there's like zero upkeep or if it just gets looked at once a year, but the trail is so badly overgrown, navigating it is nearly impossible, and you really have to watch your step because we almost twisted our ankles like several times. There's also just so many like down trees and down logs in your way. Like it's really a fight to get through this trail. Also further down the trail, there's like a field, like a plainy field, and it is so itchy and scratchy. I am surprised we didn't get poison ivy or ticks or something. Like it's really bad, and that is why we gave it a 1.5 for accessibility. The busyness is where CPRI really shines because up until today I didn't even know this place existed, and I'm assuming most people don't. So we gave it an astonishing 4.5 out of 5 for busyness because I doubt you will ever see anyone else on this trail. The nature here is really nice. The Thames River runs through this, and there is lots of different scenery, lots of different types of nature. However, yeah, that is an absolute butt ton of road noise and city noise. So we ended up giving it like a 2 out of 5, I believe. I don't know. It took a lot of math to do this. We gave it a 3.5 originally just because it's so nice, and then we did a -2 because of the road noise, and then I gave it a +1 because we saw some animals here. Anyway, Intrigue gets a 3 out of 5. There is this random basketball court here, which I think is pretty sick. There's a nice trail down by the water. There's also a fire pit, which was down there. I don't know how it got down here, but somebody brought a full-on fire pit, so that's a pretty cool spot to check out, and you can have a nice little party with your friends. I know back in the day it used to be a big bush party spot. And finally, length comes in at a 1.5. This trail is not very long, but it's short and sweet, so it's definitely worth checking out. And that being said, CPRI comes in with a total of 16 out of 25, which is the worst score we've seen yet. And our fifth and final trail of the day is Dingman Conservation Area. Now this one is definitely a hidden gem. It is so good, and yet I don't think many people know about it. It's pretty hidden. But parking comes in at a 4. It's a nice big parking lot, gravel, and honestly you don't really have to fight for a spot. The accessibility comes in at a 3. The trail's pretty easy to walk. There's a few bridges like this, a few planks down, but overall it's pretty good. The nature here is absolutely phenomenal. You really feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. There's zero road noise, zero city noise. It's still inside the city limits, but it's very far away from any kind of roads or buildings that are popular. It's very buried in the boons, which is nice. And there's just so many different types of trees here, and it's just like split up into different sections, which is really cool. So we ended up giving it a 4 out of 5. Next up, you guys know it, it's Intrigue. Intrigue and nature here go hand in hand. Obviously Dingman is killing it with the nature, but the most intriguing part about this place, honestly, I would say would be the animals. I've seen a beaver here before while I was fishing. We saw a carp today. There's bat boxes. There's also some amazing views and some good water at Dingman. The Dingman Creek runs through it. It's some fairly clean water. It's got some decent fish in it. There's also bat boxes, which are really cool, and just lots of nice scenic views of the water. Honestly, if you're here and you get a chance, go play around in it, go fishing, really enjoy the water. There is also an old dam, and there's the carp I was talking about earlier, but it is really enjoyable. It's a super nice walk and just very scenic. Honestly, I like to stop and smell the flowers while I'm here. And that's why Dingman pulled in the pretty good score of 3.5 out of 5 for Intrigue. It could be better, but it is still fairly good. And then last but not least, length. This one is really short. It's only about a half-hour walk, 2 kilometers in total worth of trails. So it came in at a 2 out of 5. Now for Dingman's official score, it gets a 20.5 out of 25, putting it in second place, right behind Komoka. However, it is a hidden gem and definitely worth checking out. And if you do go, make sure to bring a fishing rod with you. There's some decent fish in there, nothing crazy though. We hope you guys found this video useful and helpful, and maybe found some new trails to hit next time you want to go outside. But we hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one. Go hit some trails and explore the beautiful outdoors.